Welcome back, house guests, to Backdoors and Blindsides, talking Big Brother 27, Week 3, episodes 8, 9, and 10 of the show. I'm your host, Matt, joined by my co-host and wife, Meg. Hello.
Hello, hello. So we are Week 3 in the Big Brother house. We have Lauren's most lackluster HOH so far. We have Kelly nominating herself again. We have the recycling of Jemmy noms again. We have Keanu winning veto again, second week in a row there. And Kelly wins BB blockbuster again. Just a week of agains.
Snooze fest. Total snooze fest.
So boring.
I think I would rather have a completely uneventful random HOH than I'd rather have a sleepier week than just a repeat of the same drama, right?
It really was a repeat of the same drama.
Yes, because we have to fill time on the show. So like we have to find some beef. We have to find some back and forth. The conversations have been exactly the same. The politicking to stay in the house has been exactly the same because it's the same people, and the alliances haven't changed at all.
No, we're too afraid to draw lines in the sand. We don't want to make waves. We just came out of a unanimous vote last week, so the house is pretty cohesive right now as far as voting. We had Amy go home with a unanimous vote. Will stayed,
right, and
was completely untouched. And actually, before the HOH comp, Lauren, there's an outtake of her talking about Rachel, her being surprised that Rachel voted out Amy. And everyone online was kind of popping off over this too, saying Rachel's a snake, didn't vote to keep her number one ally, whatever. No, Rachel's not a snake. She is playing Big Brother.
Right.
She's smart. She doesn't want to go against the house. You don't want to do that. So she's playing for her own game. And then Amy, as a result of that, kind of goes on this, Rachel was a curse to my game tour.
Well, she clearly was. I mean,
she was. Yes,
I think she's
absolutely.
She's bad for everyone's game, and people seem to say that only in the diary room, but not actually act on it anywhere else.
But Lauren's whole point with calling that out is if Rachel can vote out Amy, her number one, what's stopping Rachel from doing that to anyone else?
Right. I
Nothing.
mean, she clearly is like here to win. I mean, she's made that very clear. And anytime I see someone having a meaningful conversation with her, like, that she is just storing that information away to use as leverage at some point later on. And I don't think she's a bad person. Like, I don't think she's toxic. I think she's playing the game. And Adrian is the only person thus far who has called her out. Now, I mean, not to her face because he was already evicted, but Adrian points out in his exit interview with Julie that, yeah, she's using any information she can against all players in the house, and we should have been making moves on her from the beginning.
No, she should have been up last week on Jimmy's HOH. She should have been up this week on Lauren's HOH. So if she gets into next week, if she does not win, she needs to go on the block. And that's not me rooting necessarily against Rachel Reilly. I think she's great TV. I love when she comes up. I think she's very entertaining. It's me rooting for the rest of the other 16 players in the house, being like, please do something for your own good and get Rachel Reilly out so you have a chance at winning. Because they all say, oh, she's gonna go to the end and no one's gonna vote for her. No, that's not the case. She's gonna get wound up. She's gonna go deeper. She's gonna embed herself. What are those little things that like dogs get stuck in their paws?
Spurs.
Yeah, she's like a spur. She's gonna get like further into the house until it hurts so fucking bad to pull it out that you just don't, and you just give her the money.
Right. I mean, she's actually building relationships with people. That's the worst thing that she could be doing.
Well, speaking of relationships, she pulls in Ava right after Amy gets evicted and says, basically, you want to be my new number one?
Crazy.
And Ava's like, hell yeah.
I love that because we haven't really seen Ava play.
No.
I mean, we see a lot of her. I love seeing her on TV.
Oh, she's character.
She's a joy to watch. But we haven't really seen her talk game with anyone. She's always just kind of hanging around. But I don't think that she's a floater. I think that just we're not seeing her game unfold quite yet.
Well,
joining up with the most notorious player in the house is definitely a way to pick up your game.
Oh, I think she is kind of a floater. And I think her life vest is Rachel Reilly.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. So Rachel's famous quote is floaters grab a life vest. And I think Ava is grabbing onto that life vest.
Sure.
Rachel is throwing said life vest out to the floater that she once condemned previous seasons.
Well, I mean, Rachel explained it herself, right? She has a pretty good shot of winning in a final 2 if she's sitting up there on jury night with Ava.
Yeah, absolutely she
At
does.
least thus far, because she's making some moves. And I mean, she's taking credit for moves, right? She kind of asserted credit for getting Zay out, even though it really wasn't her move, but she was able to capture that drama with like their little tiff that they had beforehand.
Right.
It's very easy to spin that, right? I'm sure whenever Keanu is eventually evicted, which it's amazing, and honestly props to him for winning Power Veto 2 weeks in a row. I like that he can play in comps. It would be way worse if he's just sitting around bitching with nothing to put up against his name, kind of like what Will's doing right now.
Yeah.
So,
but do we think that Ava and Rachel dynamic duo final 2? Do you think that is viable? Do you think that's something worth keeping an eye on in this world of everyone has a final 2 with everyone else?
Neither of them have won a comp. However, they are seemingly a little buddy-buddy, at least watching a movie with 2 people who have won multiple comps. And if that turns into a Motley Crue Final 4, it will be the group to watch for the rest of the show.
You're talking Ava, Rachel, Jimmy, and Keanu?
Yes.
Yo, that'd be kind of crazy. I'm kind of here for that.
I said last week she should team up with Keanu. You were against it, but if they can create a group of 4, you've got competition with Keanu. He's won twice. He's got, he's physically able. Jimmy's won HOH before. We haven't seen much from Ava, but she also hasn't completely dropped off yet. Actually, that's not true. She sat out the last HOH.
She
comp.
chose not to. Yeah.
I would say she's going to need some coaching. That's another thing is if she's up with Rachel can give her actual coaching to get through the game. I think a lot of that is disingenuous. However, if it's an actual ally of hers, of course she wants to make sure that they know how to navigate the house in the next, whatever it's going to be, 14 weeks.
Right. But none of these people go on to win week 3 HOH.
No.
So we digress a little bit, but I think that's important to note on. I think that's really interesting to watch that those 2, Rachel and Ava, specifically bloom together a little bit here. But let's go into our HOH competition. We have everyone except for our previous HOH, Jimmy.
Right.
In the competition, it is a video package memory challenge with the twins from a prior season of Big Brother.
Yeah, and you seem to favor the memory challenge ones.
I do, because it's fun. It's fun to be a audience member, a viewer at home, and you get to play along with them. It's the only comp that you can do that with. You can't do it with the wall challenge. You're not Adrian at home with your own wall in the backyard.
And I love that you mentioned that, because pretty quick to get knocked out are Vince and Will, and they go and they take their seat, and one of them, I think it's Vince, whispers to Will like, "Oh, it's so much easier when I'm sitting on the couch at home."
Oh,
right?
I missed that.
Yeah. So he is identifying himself as one of us, right? He likes to play along with the comps. He's just as confident as we are, but I'm sure it's way different when you're standing in this weird outdoor studio.
Sure, you have cameras at you. You're listening to other things. You're not focused on the one TV in front of you. And I'm sure the video packages go way longer than they do on TV, right? You got to make it palatable for viewers. But yeah, they went out. We had 4 rounds, 4 of them. How did we get 4 rounds?
Remarkably short for a game like that. I feel like Chelsea won HOH off of that comp last time. It was either Chelsea or maybe it was Leah, but whoever it was went for, I feel like 8 to 10 rounds.
Yeah, we went for a while.
We had like a final 2.
Yeah, we made it a competition.
Yeah. I love when it comes down to 2 players in these and they keep answering the same every single time. Wish that we got that, but also it's early. I feel like a lot of people are still learning how to play these comps in person. I mean, there is a learning curve to all of these. It's way different when you're actually in it.
So we have a speedy HOH. And Lauren wins pretty fast. Yeah. You and I are on the couch together. We're doing it with them. We get all of them right. Congrats, Matt and I are your new joint HOHs this week.
And we're doing what everyone should have done weeks ago. Jimmy, Rachel, and I don't know, Keanu, because he's kind of annoying.
Yeah. He's following us around too much.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's a reason that he keeps being put up, is like he just gets on people's nerves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Kelly gets on people's nerves too.
Absolutely.
They can't leave. Their anxiety is getting the best of them, and they can't leave other players alone at any time of day, right? They're always like following people around. I think
Little
that's the thing,
shadow.
is like following people around in this, small space, this limited space has got to drive them fucking nuts.
Yeah, you're like, I just want 5 minutes by myself.
Exactly.
Just 5 minutes.
Exactly.
So Lauren wins. I think everyone's a little shocked.
Well, because no one has seen her in the show thus far.
Right.
And
They're like,
definitely
who?
no one's
Lauren
heard
who?
Because she is the quietest player in the house. And I know that that's like to your advantage to a certain point. But I mean, oh my God. Like I was punching up the TV as loud as it could go just to hear her talk game.
I know my fingers hurt from hitting the remote so much, trying to hear and straining. I was straining a lot. And I know there's a lot of whispering going on, but they got to like jack her mic up.
Yeah, they got to give her like one of the super mics. Give her 2 mics, actually.
Give her 2 mics.
Just double her, just like John Lennon or Kurt Cobain, or just double voice her, double track her voice. Yeah, well, when we see that Lauren wins, I think, oh, okay, I don't really know what Lauren is all about. I haven't seen her game. Maybe this makes for a really interesting week because I don't really know who her targets are.
So what's the first thing that Vince does? He scurries up the stairs.
Yeah. Because he's got a rat on his head.
Yeah, he's got a rat on his head. Call back to our prior episode. Scurries up the stairs, goes up to Lauren, and basically tells her, people think you're impressionable.
Dude, bad move.
Like, don't let people get in your head because everyone in the house thinks you're impressionable. No, I think it ended up being a good move for Vince because that further impressioned her. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, because he immediately then was like, yeah, you and I in a final 2. They're locked in a final 2 now. Add another one to Vince's list.
I just think that he's showing her that he's talking to everyone in the house.
Yeah.
That's where my distrust would begin, is if he's saying people just in general, like not, it'd be different if he said,
who thinks
like,
I'm impressionable?
Hey, I heard Ashley say this specific thing. He's just saying, oh, the house in general, that's making me think, all right, well then who are you talking to about me? Are you defending me? Right? That's where the he said, she said bullshit can really backfire on you.
And, the person that I think that Vince is getting this information from, or at least one of the more vocal people about it, is Mickey.
Mickey, by the way, blowing up her own game this week. What happened?
I don't know. She's
crashing out.
She was being a little squirrely and there was no reason because she has the third unused power, right? Where she can take the HOH's reign from underneath of them, real sneaky like. And the whole first episode this week, she's like, should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? And she was spiraling because of it. So she is telling people that, quote, Lauren has no mind of her own.
Right. She says to Jimmy, Lauren has no mind of her own. That's crazy. Why would you tell Jimmy that, by the way?
Yeah, wrong
I mean, that's
person.
the one person who is going to tell anyone else that he can. He's going to use that against you. I mean, he's doing what Rachel is doing. He's just not as sneaky about it.
Right. Well, I mean, clearly Vince was the one who did it because he went up and told Lauren that people think you're impressionable. Basically, this is Kat's HOH because Lauren and Kat are supposed to be like this. So he's trying to create a narrative to make Lauren feel safe so he can get Lauren to do what he wants Lauren to do.
What does he want Lauren to do, though?
I don't think Vince knows.
He doesn't know. He's got too many friends.
Exactly. It's too many final 2s. He just wants to make sure that he's safe and that he can go back later and say, I controlled Lauren's HOH.
Yes.
Doesn't he doesn't
exactly
matter. It doesn't matter what happens. He doesn't care who goes home. I don't think really. It's just Vince controlled that HOH. That's what he wanted.
I think Vince is like when you're playing, I don't know, you're playing like an RPG, you're playing a video game, and you have to manage your inventory in those types of games, right? And Vince is the type of player who can't let go certain pieces of his inventory because he sees like some use of it. Like you like the idea that, like, I don't know, this sword has a certain power. You're not going to use it anytime soon. Like, there's clearly no reason for it. But like, you just want to hang on to it.
Calling me out.
You just want to.
I play like that.
This is exactly how Meg plays RPGs. By the way,
I hoard all of my guns in Borderlands.
But he's like trying to see value. It's exactly what it is. He's hoarding. He is recognizing value in everything, or maybe even like creating it in his head, and he's not willing to part with anyone with any of these relationships. You're gonna have to figure that out soon. You're gonna have to empty that fucking inventory and put all your focus onto like your best weapon, your best
heavy
suit
gunner,
of armor.
yep.
Yeah, and ideally, some like sexy outfit. That's my priority when I play those games.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Mickey saying that she has no mind of her own, Vince kind of relaying that sentiment to Lauren, and then Mickey goes up to the HOH, Lauren, and says, if it were me, I'd honor the previous HOH's nominees.
That's such horseshit.
It's such bullshit. What does Lauren owe Jimmy?
It's because it's easy for her. It's none of her allies.
Right. So she wants Kelly, Keanu, Adrian up on the block. That's who Mickey wants on the block. She's trying to tell Lauren that.
Because she's trying to protect herself. And it became pretty clear that she was trying to protect Will as well. And she had, somewhat of an alliance with like Ashley and Morgan, obviously. But I wrote down during Sunday's episode that Mickey it's her first time under pressure and she's not handling it well at all. I don't think she was under any pressure. I don't think Lauren had her sights on her at all.
No.
If anything, it would probably make sense to just put up Keanu and Kelly again, right? But you instead kind of have to show your hand and make a fool of yourself because you're trying to get into her ear when she already knows the shit that you've been talking behind her back.
Yeah, I just lost a little respect for Mickey this week, which is really disappointing for me because I was really rooting for her. And now my eyebrows are raised a little bit like, girl, what are you doing? Like, can we just take a breather? I know it's the Big Brother house itself is so pressurized and you're constantly in the DR. You're having thousands of conversations with so many different people all the time. And I get it. You have so much unlimited time to just think about literally the next words that you say. But those aren't it, Mickey.
No.
Don't say those words.
And while we're talking about her game, the triple threat alliance with her and Morgan and Jimmy seems to be imploding. They were not happy with Jimmy sending home Amy.
No, they
weren't happy with him putting up Will either.
No.
And so we get Mickey and Morgan sort of talking between the two of them like we are something without Jimmy. We are something deeper,
right.
We're going to keep up the appearances of the triple threat alliance, but we do not ride with Jimmy the way that we thought we did.
And they're thinking at this point in time, which will change at the end of this show, we will get into that. But at this point in time, Mickey and Morgan are super tight and they're really, I think the tightest final two, the most genuine final two at this point. And Jimmy is just kind of, they're keeping him around to serve them.
He's a bad enemy to have right now.
Right. I don't want to be Jimmy's enemy. No thanks. And so we get Lauren's nominees.
Surprise. We get who do we get? We get Keanu, we get Kelly, and we get Adrian, right?
So let's break it down. So Keanu, duh. You just gotta.
I think he's gonna be up every week.
You gotta keep putting Keanu up. Yep, exactly. So that makes sense. Easy up. So many people are already mad or have their feathers ruffled by Keanu. So sure, throw him up. Easy. Also, giant target. He wins comps. He's a big guy. A lot of muscle.
Right.
Very athletic. Of course. Keanu up. Then we get Kelly volunteering again for the third week in a row.
This has to
third
be
week
it,
in a row,
right?
I've never seen it.
This time she was like actually crying because she knew that she was going to go home, or she thought that she was going to go home. So I have to think that this is it for her. She's going to wise up and stop fucking volunteering.
Third time's the charm, right?
Do you think that she believes she's forming alliances by becoming like friendly enough to volunteer to go up? Because that's what Lauren was prying for, and something that was so annoying about her HOH
annoying.
is she's like throwing her hands up, looking up at the sky, saying, "Well, I wish someone would come and help me."
Yeah, she's like, "I have Keanu. That's a for sure. Kelly's going up because she volunteered.
Yeah, I need help. I need someone else to volunteer." That's a fucking insane way to go about being HOH.
It really is.
Basically, you're basically just like denouncing your own power. Oh, I need someone to make decisions for me. I mean, it's really fucking embarrassing.
It was disrespectful, I think, to the other house guests. She's sitting there looking at them like, are you gonna nominate yourself to go up? And everyone's like, no, we're not fucking crazy like Kelly is. Why would we do that?
Yeah. So let's hope she wises up and finally stops telling people, oh yeah, you can put me up.
I think she's truly doing it to buy equity with everyone.
Yeah.
And she's hoping that when she's HOH, if she makes it that far, because she keeps throwing her own self under the bus, she can be like, hey, Lauren, remember that one time I volunteered for your HOH? Hey, Jimmy, remember when I volunteered for your HOH? Hey, Vince, remember that time I volunteered for your HOH? She's going to look at them and be like, I did you a favor, so now you owe me a favor. And I think she's going to run a dictatorship with it. I think that's what's going to happen if given the opportunity.
That would be amazing for her to swoop in and just start kicking everyone's ass. I mean, she's kind of a wild card. She might be one of the more interesting HOHs if she pulls it out on come Sunday.
For interest wise, I would love to see a Kelly HOH because I have no idea what the hell that girl would do. I don't even think she would know. She can't nominate herself as HOH. So who knows who would be up on that block.
One thing about Lauren's HOH that I want to bring up is Rachel offering to help and Lauren not having it at all.
Yeah.
She goes up to the HOH room to have a one-on-one with Lauren, basically gives that coaching approach, right? And sort of motherly, sort of nurturing. Listen, you really should try to think about it this way. And Lauren has no interest in what she has to say and even takes a little offense because she digs in at Vince a little bit.
Yeah, she goes into my favorite quote this week, which we can just get into that now. That's my quote of the week.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Is Rachel saying there's no reason you should feel like you have to listen to someone that's unemployed and in their 30s. Hilarious.
That's fucking brutal.
Hilarious.
Rachel.
I thought it was hilarious.
They don't have
fucking roasted Vince.
They don't have any interaction in the house, her and Vince. I never see them together.
Nah, I don't think they're close at all.
No. And I think Vince was on the show in one of those rooms, maybe even talking to Lauren saying she scares the shit out of me. So that is a pretty clear divide between the two of them. And Vince is a popular guy. Rachel's popular too. I could see the house really being split between the two of them.
Yeah. I mean, well, again, you have Vince going to Lauren saying you're very impressionable. And then we have Rachel going to Lauren saying, hey, don't listen to a guy in his 30s who's unemployed. So she's choosing to not be impressionable with Rachel, but leans into Vince, who it may have been her downfall. Because at the end of the week, Vince screws her over big time.
Right. But she's already got an alliance with Vince, and she's got nothing with Rachel and turned her away. Now, I think Rachel is going to really think about that and use that later on.
Rachel would chew Lauren up and spit her out.
Yeah. Well, clearly, because Lauren has no agency. She has no directive with what she was trying to do. I think she looked at winning HOH as a guarantee for safety. I think that was her biggest takeaway, was just, okay, I'm safe this week. I don't really have to worry about anything else.
Wrong. And
then she ends up breaking a lot of hearts with her noms. No one wanted to see Adrian go. No one wanted to see Will go. Kelly fucked it up for everyone by winning. And so everyone's going to go into the next week upset with Rachel for her HOH. I don't think that it benefited anyone.
No. But we do get our third nominee, which is Will. And I got to say, I will applaud him for fighting for himself against Lauren. He did not roll over. He did not, she came to Will, Lauren came to Will and was like, hey, I'm thinking about putting you up as a pawn. And he was like, listen, I don't want to do that. I don't like that. Pawns go home. I was just off the block. I don't want to be up again. He was pissed. I would be too.
I mean, why wouldn't you be? And once you have that conversation of don't put me up, the HOH knows that they're basically burning that bridge.
Absolutely.
If they do it. So that's, we're talking about drawing lines for the first time this week in week 3. That is a line drawn right there. She's saying, you're not a part of my game, Will, and I'm not interested in working with you any further.
It's okay if you go home.
It's okay if you're mad at me.
And you know what? Earlier in that same episode, Will is saying something along the lines of, I don't know if, Lauren won, I don't know what she's going to do. I'm not that close with her. Then I'm sorry, Will, you cannot be mad that Lauren put you up. Yeah. You can be mad at the fact, right? Oh, being on the block for 2 weeks straight, brutal, dude. Sucks. Hard. It's not, you're playing from the bottom. You don't want to play there. You're playing in another BB blockbuster comp. If you're not winning veto, you're playing in another veto. Some people aren't, haven't even played in a single veto yet. Yeah. And here you are playing again. You played in probably the most comps that anyone has played. He doesn't want to do it again. But guess what? that does not mean that you go get to be mad at Lauren with the amount of anger that he had towards her, because guess what? You're not close with her. Yeah. So then maybe, Will, you should have done more work, put in more time and effort and conversation and relationship building with Lauren in the event that she does win HOH. Then you feel safe with her. But guess what? You didn't do that, and you're suffering the consequences for that. So I can only empathize with him so much.
Well, yeah, he gets really huffy, right? And he goes out into the outdoor area, the courtyard.
The courtyard.
He goes out into the courtyard, and then people start kind of gathering around him, rubbing his shoulder, telling him he's going to be okay, and just letting him get it out. I think that's a bad look. I think you got to let him go out there on his own and just really get it all out and compose himself, because you're showing alliances and you're showing sympathy towards an outburst. And I just think that's never a good idea, no matter what the outburst
one-on-one.
is.
Pull him later.
You got to talk to him later. Talk to him when Lauren's in the shower or she's hiding in her HOH room. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take advantage of when people are not just hanging out in the house, when you are visible to the other 14 players. Another problem with Lauren, we're going to kick the shit out of Lauren this week. Another problem
sorry,
with
little
Lauren
buddy.
is she is telling Vince and other players who she's considering putting up. That's going to get back to other players in the house. You're just saying, oh yeah, I'm thinking of putting up this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person. I mean, that's you're showing your long game, basically. You're showing what you want to play out for the next like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, don't show your cards that early. But we're not quite there yet. We have to play veto first. So she is playing in the veto with her nominees, and Casey isn't here this time.
No more challenge players.
No more challenge players to dominate. Casey's not here. Keanu's gotta pull out a win on his own, and he does. But we get a laser challenge, and we've made comments before that this season of Big Brother is kind of writing off the successes of popular shows like Traitors, where they are pulling other Big Brother players, and they have a laser, get the artifact across the room competition,
yeah, like an art thief type challenge,
which they had in the last season of the Traitors,
the most recent season.
Yeah, I believe so.
We're laying it on pretty thick. I guess
really
it's just kind of shameless.
Yeah,
they're like, fuck it, people are watching because they like this, so we're just gonna throw it out there. I mean, it's just like it's competing brands. I guess it happens in wrestling all the time. We're kind of blatantly ripping off other gimmicks to kind of poke at the other one and say, well, try it over here for once.
Yep, exactly what they're doing. And then we get Vince throwing the veto comp, him playing rock, paper, scissors, the statue in the middle of the comp. We get him chilling out by the button and just letting the clock run. And this is a prime example. I know earlier we were riffing hard on Reilly throwing comps, but this is a prime example when throwing a comp is good, because you have final twos with everybody in the house. So you don't want to win. You don't want to have to be forced to use veto.
Especially in a comp where you're competing by yourself. No one else is watching you do it. That's the easiest one to throw.
Oh, yeah. And he even says, like, I want to make it look like I kind of tried because I'm telling everyone. Yeah, so Vince throwing this comp is good for his game. He has too many final twos, and if he were to win, that would put him in a sticky situation. He does not need to win this competition. Well, matter of fact,
not only does he have too many final twos, he told all of the nominees that he would protect them with the power of veto.
Yeah, you can't be telling everybody that.
Like, dude, if you're gonna play this kind of loosey-goosey game of all these different alliances, all these different final twos, at least keep your mouth shut. Stop over-promising stuff, man.
Yeah, but at least this one was in a situation where he could control, for the most part, if he won or lost. But something interesting about Vince's final twos, I would love to know who his true final two is, because there's a lot of past seasons where people are like, oh, I have alliances with this person, this person, this person. But like, this person is my person. This is my true ride or die. Fuck everyone else.
Like Matt and Jag.
Sure.
Jag was in every alliance at one point in his season, but it was always Matt.
The Hitman alliance from several seasons ago with Derek, who's running BB Unlocked, the after show, and Cody, they were super tight. They were running the game. Yeah, I want to see Vince. I think that will really distinguish Vince between a good player and a great player, him networking and making all these connections. But I need him to hone in on one specific person and lock in and run the game with them, because right now he's just kind of running in circles with himself.
Absolutely.
So Vince successfully throws the competition. We only, as a viewer, and the house too, get revealed the top 3 spots, which I hate.
Yeah, I wish that they would just. I wish they would just shame whoever was the worst at it. Who do you think it would be?
Well, that's what they did in the past.
Right.
In past seasons, they've done this. This is a recent thing that they have changed, only showing the top 3.
Is that like they don't want to hurt people's feelings?
There's some lore out there for that reason. I can't remember why off the top of my head.
Anti-bullying CBS.
Yeah.
Well, CBS is woke, right? We're really mad about that. So maybe that's part of this agenda.
Yeah.
It's part of the woke agenda with CBS is not showing everyone's comp results.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's freaking annoying because half the fun in these timed competitions is, one, either seeing people time completely out and Big Brother makes them stop.
That's so awesome.
They're like, you've hit 30 minutes. Or people go for crazy amounts of time and you see them up there and you're like, what the hell was this person doing? Did they, perform brain surgery while they were in there and then finish the comp? Like, what were they doing in there?
It's like, listen, you have to understand how much it costs to keep the lights on in this room for as long as you've been here in. CBS is hemorrhaging money. We have to cut your comp.
Yeah, I guess. I don't like it. I want to see them all, but we have Vince placing 3rd, and then we have Lauren, and then our winner is Keanu.
So
again, he did it for real himself this time.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting a little performative with it, but I like seeing him squeeze out a win, and that's his way of clapping back. He's not a very good social game player.
No.
But I love that he is confident and kind of in your face about his ability to win. That makes him a player in the game.
And I do love that he is the biggest guy in the house, the most muscular guy in the house, and they're carrying this really awkward, angular, huge artifact, and he was the most nimble throughout this laser competition.
Yeah, seriously.
He was able to pull it out.
He's agile, he's athletic. I'm happy for him. I mean, it's a great second veto in a row for him. I love how upset that makes the rest of the house. I mean, he's sowing chaos in kind of his own way. Tucker played similarly, right? Now, he actually also played a social game, but he was a wild card and made some crazy decisions, namely like using veto on Angela a bunch of times and leaving himself up. But I think that there's a lot to be said for someone who is like a pure, comp beast and navigating through some of these more ingrained social players. So he needs to find an actual alliance. Hopefully he figures something out with that group of 4 that we talked about earlier.
Well, then Keanu picks his partners to come watch his reward movie with him.
The Bad Guys 2.
Yeah, which was basically a 45-minute promo in an hour and a half.
By the way, like, I understand you're pushing your properties. You need to save that for an episode that isn't the 90-minute episode. I know that's where it fits the most, but half of this episode of TV was just a promo for The Bad Guys 2. I'm sure it's a good movie. I'll never watch it. I'm not 7.
But Keanu picks Rachel, Ava, and Jimmy. And the whole time I'm sitting on the edge of my seat and I'm like, pick Jimmy. You won't. Pick Jimmy. You won't. And then he does. And I just like kind of popped off. I was like, this is amazing.
What a move.
Love to see it.
What a move. Like an actual thought out move from Keanu.
Thinking with the old noodle.
Right? We talked about how Keanu was not thinking about his long game. He was just thinking like day to day. This is a chance for him to build actual alliances. And we saw proof by the end of the show that Adrian didn't have any confidence in his alliance with Keanu. And honestly, I thought he was his biggest ally.
Yeah.
So Keanu's wised up. I'm not sure if someone got to him. I'm not sure if he maybe just started seeing the way that it was going for him finally. And I like to think that he knows what he's doing now. And he's actually trying to play from all angles. Also, I just love that he brings that specific group because like Rachel talks about how she's an actual fan of the movie.
Yeah,
she watches it with her kids. Ava is, I think, the most likable person in the house. I think she is liked by everyone. I haven't heard anyone even contemplate the idea of putting her up, getting her out, any negative, thoughts about her. So I love the vibes. And then he brings Jimmy because like they were button heads and he wants to try and make amends. I think it's a really, really cool move.
I agree.
So Keanu wins veto. Obviously, he uses it on himself.
Lauren is freaking out now because Keanu was her target and he's pulling himself off with the veto. What does she do? Who do I put up? Anyone want to volunteer? Anybody? Tell me you want to go on the block. And she's going around telling everyone who she's thinking of nominating, which is crazy.
Yeah, again, I think you're showing your game 5-6 weeks out. You're basically telling everyone what's your plan. I just need to speed it up because I need more options for nominees right now. Really, really messy. And I think that she does want people to essentially make decisions for her by saying, I'll go up and then we can vote this way. Right? She's looking for someone to coach the house on how to vote based on who she puts up there.
Right. So
there's zero gameplay.
She's spiraling. 2 pawns are up because Kelly nominated herself. And, everyone's kind of upset. Will's up there because he was a pawn last week. He's a pawn this week. And so she's going around telling people it's between Adrian and Ashley. And what this does, sweet Lauren, it makes you a target on both sides of the house.
Right.
Because Ashley's on one side, optically, and Adrian is on another side. So you're telling both sides, I'm thinking about putting a member of your side of the house up. Pissing both sides off.
Yeah.
Why are you putting that out there?
I don't think that Lauren is much of a threat, clearly, because she is not, the super fan is not playing the game super well. But I don't think that she's going to be an automatic target moving forward because I don't think there's much of a reason to get her out. Right. I think she's made enemies this week.
Yeah.
But she's not going to, I don't think she's going to go up anytime soon unless it is like an emergency replacement nom, kind of like what happened the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if Will wins, Will would put her up, I think,
Sure.
because I think he's a little salty. He might hold a little grudge or two. Once Ashley and Adrian's names leave Lauren's lips, you may as well put both of them up.
Yeah, it's a huge problem for yourself. I know I'm trying not to use this phrase a lot on this show, but she showed her whole ass, much like James did a week and a half ago.
Yes, James B. showing his ass.
So we ultimately land on Adrian, and then we're just back to week 2. It's Kelly, it's Will, and it's Adrian on the block. Oh, joy. Nothing changes. Will's still salty. Adrian's panicking. Kelly's spiraling because she realizes, oh, wait, I didn't win veto. Now I only have one more chance to pull myself down or I'm definitely going home.
Yeah,
I think she finally realized that she does not have the votes to stay. For some reason, it took her 3 weeks to figure that out.
I guess so. But it doesn't really matter because she wins BB Blockbuster.
Right. Congratulations to Miss Kelly.
I couldn't believe it.
She has become fun to root for.
Was shocked. Really?
I think so. I think that she's playing very strangely, but I feel this like great surge of victory whenever she wins a comp and pulls herself down. I think it's amazing. She has like no friends in the house. What alliance does Kelly have? Vince. That's it. And so she is playing her safety. I think Keanu has more connections than Kelly does. Now I think he has more direct enemies than Kelly does.
Yeah.
But I think that people are really out on both of them, and I like her defending herself basically and getting herself down. I mean, learn your lesson. Congratulations. Let's play it safe for a couple weeks moving on.
I think you like her because she's quirky.
The quirkiness is one of the less appealing things to me as far as Kelly's gameplay goes, but also like she seems like a very sweet person, and she seems very, I think that the house guests could very easily take advantage of her. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't.
No, because she takes advantage of herself.
But I'm surprised that no one else has really jumped on that yet. I'm surprised that Rachel hasn't moved in on Kelly yet.
So I know you're a big Kelly fan, I guess, all of a sudden.
Hang on. All right. Don't put words in my mouth. Big Kelly fan.
Matt said, I'm a big Kelly guy.
Right, I'm a big Kelly guy.
He's
She's moving up on my ranks.
Okay, buddy. We'll resume that later. But listen, if I were a player in the Big Brother house,
Okay,
and I'm putting people up or wanting to put people up, I would want to vote to keep Kelly in, because if I win HOH in the future, maybe she'll nominate herself and make my job easier, right?
Sure.
She's done it 3 times so far. So I would want to keep her around just for the sake of I can use her in the future. She's malleable. She'll kind of work with anybody who's in power, and that's good for me, right?
Yeah.
She'll nominate herself. So I'd keep her around. But she wins BB Blockbuster, and she's walking down the stairs. The house guests don't know who won yet. And Julie announces, and the claps.
Oh my God, it's so
the claps
embarrassing.
are so sad.
It's so embarrassing. Douche chill. Major douche chill watching this this group descend down these stairs to applause.
She's kind of looking like, ooh, we're going to be excited that Kelly won. Everyone's going to be excited.
Right.
They announce, everyone's like,
Just like, woohoo!
yeah. Week prior, Adrian wins. Huge pop off.
Big
Everyone's
pop for
Adrian.
yelling,
jumping on him, clapping, real happy.
And I would bet if Will won, it would be the same reaction.
Yeah. And everyone's just like, yay, Kelly
Do you think that it would have been
won.
a unanimous
good.
vote for Kelly?
Yay, Kelly won. Oh, she won.
Sorry, let me try asking that one more
She
time. I
won.
know you probably couldn't hear me over the thunderous applause.
Yeah.
Do you think that it would be a unanimous vote for Kelly?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I think so,
I
too.
think Kelly would have 100% went home if she did not win that BB Blockbuster, and I think that's why people were so upset, because that means that they now had to choose between Will and Adrian, which
Sure.
they did not want to do.
It was the
but
worst case scenario for the whole house, regardless of what side you were on.
Congrats, Lauren. You made the whole house mad.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the whole house is going to write her off moving forward.
Yeah, and so we get she comes off the block, and Will and Adrian are left, and Will stands up to give his eviction speech, and I'm kind of sitting on the edge of my seat. And I was like, riding the high from last week. We got Julie saying that she was Will's lemon drop, and I was like, that was just a hilarious moment. So I'm like, come on, Will, give me a reference to Julie being your lemon drop again.
Yeah.
He just starts sobbing.
Oh my God.
He turns around. He can't even look at the TV.
It's fucking brutal.
It's brutal. I mean, then he gets up and he's sobbing.
Adrian's crying on the couch while Will's talking. It cuts to Ava. She's fucking weeping.
Ava looks like she just witnessed her entire family get run over, plowed by a bus. Whole family murdered in front of her.
It's
That's the
tough.
face that Ava's making.
It is a tough eviction night, man. Tough for the house. I mean, everyone was crying, but especially Will breaking down like that. And I don't think so much that he was crying because he wanted to stay. I think that he hated being up there next to Adrian. I think he was frustrated more than anything that he didn't win the comp. He was also way off the fucking mark. I think the answer was 8, and he said 16.
16.
He said
I'm like,
twice as many differences in the house that there actually were.
He guessed that, and I'm sitting there looking like, Will, did you want to go home? Did you just pick the highest number that they had in the basket? Did you just want to go home?
Yeah, exactly.
Or, you know what? I just had this idea right now. Do you think he was counting each thing twice? Do you think he like maybe misinterpreted it? Because if you divided by 2, he got the answer right.
Oh shit, I didn't think of that.
That was I just had that thought right now, that maybe he's counting like, oh, this table's different in this room and it's different in that room. That's 2.
I mean, it's kind of it's kind of dumb, but I mean, that would make sense almost as to like where he got 16 from, unless it was just a wild guess and he got overwhelmed.
Now being more critically thinking and looking back on that, I'm wondering if he's just counting the total differences, not the differences between things. So maybe I was a little too hard on Will, being like, what the hell?
Bizarre answer.
Yeah, the answer was bizarre because Kelly was only 1 off.
Right.
And she couldn't go over, remember?
And Adrian
you can't
was
go
2
over.
off.
Adrian was 2 off. So I was hoping that they were all going to be in the same ballpark. So it was crazy to me that he did that. So I think he accidentally doubled his numbers.
Sure.
Counting every single object instead of.
Thankfully, he skated by.
He skated by. Everyone was crying. By a vote of 8-4, Adrian, you've been evicted. That's my Julie.
That sucks, man. I feel like he didn't get to game a lot. I think he's too quiet. We always saw him around for the conversations, but I feel like he wasn't leading a lot of the conversations. That's not to say that he wasn't doing anything, but production wasn't showing him. And I mean, we talked about this in the very first episode. I love him talking about how he was training for comps in his backyard. He clearly has a lot of love for the show and for the game. And I think that he could have been really interesting to keep around for the show.
I didn't think he was long for the game.
Yeah, you never liked him.
It's not that I didn't like him. I just saw him and I just didn't think he was long for it. Just like I didn't think Amy was long for the game. That's
true. You called Amy.
Now Zay was a little shocked to me. I thought Zay was gonna kind of go.
Well, you mourned that. You mourned Zay.
That's a little too much for me over there. But I thought he was gonna make it to like either right beginning of jury or even pre-jury, and he was kind of a shock to go. But seeing Adrian go, seeing Amy go, those weren't entirely shocking to me. Just by seeing how the game has played out for 26 other seasons. But that 8-4 vote, very, very peculiar.
It's odd.
What
and it's not
happened?
The 8-4 that I thought it would be if you told me the numbers ahead of time.
Nope. So we have Kat and Reilly, Keanu and Kelly. Kat and Reilly voting together, not shocked. Riley's so pussy whipped, he'll do whatever Kat says.
Oh my God.
I mean, am I wrong?
You think he's down that bad for Kat?
Yes, I think he's being a little creepy towards Kat in some live feeds. There's some discourse online about people. Well, America didn't already really like Reilly, but now Riley's being maybe a little creepy towards Kat. So the comments on the live stream stuff, I always take with a grain of salt because we're not seeing him in the DR explaining themselves, right? Like, True.
I feel like that's when we really see what's going on and people's intentions with the conversations that they have or the way that they're interacting with people is they're explaining what they're up to in the DR. And it just might be, how he communicates with people. I've seen him flirt with her hardcore, but
there's a live feed comment. You don't know this. I was lurking on the interwebs on some live feed discourse. Reilly was talking to Zach.
Okay.
And Zach was saying how he wants to pursue Lauren if she's open to it. And Reilly says back to Zach, "Oh, good. I'm glad. You should go after that. I thought I was going to be the only person in the house trying to fuck."
Dude.
So he's pro other showmances, so he's not the only one.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
I was saving that one for you.
I mean, I'm sure other people think that when they're going into the house as well. I'm not sure if I would say that out loud.
Oh,
but
he did. So they that was a good one that got you.
Oh shit. That's fun.
So Kat and Reilly are, canoodling together. It makes sense that they voted together. Keanu also voted to evict Will to keep Adrian, and so did Kelly. Why? Why did they do this? Well, because Lauren wanted Will gone. Who's voting on Lauren's behalf? Kat is. Riley's pussy whipped, so he will vote what Kat says. Keanu is just trying to get some leverage in the game.
Right.
And I think he actually does really like Adrian, and he thinks that Adrian can be a good ally, so he votes Will. And then Kelly thinks that she's working with Vince. She thinks she's voting with Vince. Vince is her number one. Mm-hmm. Remember, they have a final 2 together. Vince does not do this. Neither does Zach.
Shocked that Vince voted Adrian.
Yep, and he was sitting there like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Vote to evict Adrian. That's how we started off, and I was like, what is happening? And it just really, really interesting. So what does this mean for the fallout that we're gonna see in the upcoming week? We're gonna see that Vince fucked over Reilly because he didn't vote with him. Mm-hmm. And remember, Vince, Reilly also have a final two. Vince also fucked over Kelly because he has a final 2 with Kelly. And kind of fucked her over in more than one way because Adrian truly was, I think, an ally for Kelly. So yes. Vince voting to evict Adrian is stripping Kelly of a number that she has. So now Vince is maybe trying to pull Kelly a little tighter to her, but if she finds out that Vince voted out Adrian, I don't think she's going to want to be that close to Vince anymore.
I mean, look, why would you invest your time in someone who is putting themselves up every week?
Right.
Like, why would I want to get closer with an ally who could be gone, who literally has a higher chance of going home than any other player because she keeps volunteering? You look at stats. I mean, look, this is Moneyball in the Big Brother house.
Yeah,
Kelly statistically has a greater chance of going home if she keeps volunteering to go up on the block. So why would you want to continue furthering that alliance? It's a waste of time.
That's a great point.
Start forging relationships with other people, or invest more into a couple of those weapons in your stash and drop the other ones.
Right. And I think Vince and Zach together then also fucked over Lauren, because don't forget, Zach's trying to schmooze Lauren and trying to woo her into a showmance. So they both, unless Lauren knew that they were voting in that way, unless we're not seeing a conversation that they had in between, you know, when they were scenarioing out, that's not a word, but running scenarios of, you know, if this person wins the blockbuster, if that person doesn't, who are we going to vote? Unless they had a conversation that Lauren was like, yes, if it's them too, then we're going to get Adrian out. Mm-hmm. But the last we saw, Lauren wanted Will out. So both of them, her prospect showmance and her quote unquote final two, went against her wishes and voted out Adrian. And that's also why Kat voted Will, was because she got that intel from Lauren that she wanted Will out because they're supposed to be like this.
So irritating.
So they blew up. And I also want to talk about what I think is the major story of the week that had nothing to do with who was HOH, nothing to do with any comps. It is the Triple Threat Alliance and the deterioration, more specifically, of Mickey and Morgan.
I did not have this on the bingo card for the season, let alone this week, week 3.
So let me break the whole thing down for you. And I'm going to look at my notes very intensely for this because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of he said, she said, yes. Here, I'm going here, talking to this person, scurrying over there, talking to that person. So let me break it down for you with what actually happened and why Mickey and Morgan together are absolutely fucked as a duo. So Morgan is in alliance with Mickey and Jimmy. They're the Triple Threat Alliance. We already knew that. Mickey is closest to Morgan. Morgan's closest to Mickey in that alliance. They're the duo. Jimmy's kind of on the outs. Cool. Morgan also has another final three with Vince and Zach. Morgan thinks that she is going to buy equity with Mickey.
Sure.
Build her trust. Be like, listen, it's you and me, ride or die. I'm going to tell you every single bit of information that I know, which we have seen in the past work out for true dynamic duos who are locked in with each other. So I don't necessarily think Morgan's making a wrong move in this moment. I think she's truly trying to lock in with Mickey because she says to Mickey, I want to bring you into this alliance. I want to do a final four with this three and you. I want to bring you into this alliance. Mm-hmm. But Mickey, she's a little sus out by this. She's like, oh, Morgan's going around having final threes with every person she wants to have. And so Mickey actually sees this as a moment of distrust between Morgan, right, which is opposite of what Morgan was actually trying to do. And so what Mickey does is, for some very odd reason, she runs and starts having a conversation with Adrian. She tells Adrian, hey, I think the three that we need to look out for, and I don't like it, is Morgan, Zach, and Vince. Something's weird.
Shocking.
Something's up with that. I'm like, Mickey, what are you doing?
Again,
what are you doing?
She thinks she's under a ton of pressure when I don't think her name is in anyone's mouth this week, and she's freaking out.
No, so she goes and does that to someone who isn't even her ally. If anything, Adrian's on the opposite side of the house than Mickey. So why are we telling this to Adrian? So bizarre to me. And then what does Adrian do? Adrian's buddy with Vince and Zach, who are the other side of the house.
Yeah.
So Adrian goes back to Vince and Zach, who are also his buddies, and said, hey, Mickey said some weird shit to me and is calling out you two plus Morgan. What the fuck? So Zach goes, huh, interesting. Thank you, Adrian. I'm going to use this and I'm going to go back to Morgan and drive a wedge between the two of them. And honestly, thank you, Zach. Thank you for playing the game.
It's a real move.
Real move. He goes back to manipulate Morgan and says, hey, Morgan, just to let you know, Mickey told Adrian about our final 3. And now Morgan's kind of freaking out because she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, do they know that I told Mickey this? Which I don't think they do. I think they just think Mickey is kind of, you know, painting a target on those 3 specifically. I don't think that Zach and Vince think that Morgan divulged that information to Mickey.
Okay.
I think they were just thinking Mickey was seeing something for him and she commented on it.
Yeah.
And so now Morgan's freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? You think that this is one of your strongest alliances.
Yeah.
Somewhat of like a secretive alliance, question mark. I mean, I just kicked my camera. I can't cross my legs in this setup. I'm trapped by a table, a camera stand, and a microphone stand. Mickey shared with her that she has the power up.
Right. So
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
Mickey, what are you doing making an enemy of Morgan? Because the second you make Morgan your enemy, guess what? Your secret's going to be floating all throughout the house.
I think that she'll very quickly turn on Morgan now and start trying to make her a target, because it's like, I got to get this person out that knows something about me. She might use that against me. She might tell other people.
We'll see.
It's crazy, the paranoia that stirred up in this past week and really showed on Mickey's face, of all people.
Right. And with the other 2 powers that we had played last week with Kelly and Keanu, those, like, yes, you always want to keep your secret, your power secret, whatever. But those really didn't have that much of an impact if people knew about them. This whole one that Mickey has is that you get to hijack someone's HOH, but with the contingency of the HOH being able to, you know, feel around and accuse one person who is coming for their
Right.
HOH. So guess what, Mickey? If everyone knows your secret, then the HOH is going to be like,
She's burned. She's burned
Mickey.
from the start. Yeah.
And then Mickey doesn't get her thing.
I didn't even think about how crucial of an error that is to burn Morgan this early in the game, because she's the only one that knows this about you. I mean, Morgan is already seriously doubting their relationship. It seems like she was unsure of how to vote because she felt like voting. Well, it doesn't matter because Zach and Vince both voted Adrian anyways. But yeah, really, really damning move, I feel like. And someone who we thought had the potential to go really far has shown that they maybe aren't cut out for the tension that comes with being in the Big Brother house.
Right. And if I were Morgan, I would have maybe gone to Zach and Vince and been like, okay, then we need to start picking off the other side's numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're talking about the whole theme of this week is people playing a scared game. I think Morgan's just too scared at this point to pull the trigger on getting her number 1 ally out and blowing up that whole thing right now. She could have got Will out. She could have rallied Vince and Zach, because Zach's, you know, one of her final 3s, could have rallied them. But no, they decide to vote out Adrian and he goes home. And
hopefully this means that we finally get some crazy shit in the house, because they have finally drawn some lines. We're seeing some of these early relationships fracture and new ones be formed as a result of it, which means there's going to be real beef. There's always beef when someone leaves you for someone else.
Yep. And I think what these 2 blowups meaning like Zach and Vince being the swing vote, and then Morgan and Mickey's kind of distrust debacle. Yeah. What this means, I think, is that I think Vince and Zach are pretty tight to make this move together.
Yes, I see
so
that.
We asked earlier who Vince's true number 2 is. You mean we don't get a DR of him actually confirming it, but I think it might be Zach if they coordinated this attack together, which we still don't really know yet. But I think Vince and Zach are much tighter than we previously thought. I think that means Morgan gets a little more wrapped up with them too,
sure,
because she's distrusting Mickey. I think she's maybe shifting away from that side of the house, but still not wanting to piss them off. So still kind of playing this scared game. Lauren has nowhere to go now. She's at the bottom now with Keanu, Kat, and Reilly. Who wants to be down there?
No.
So I think depending on who wins next week, if it's not Keanu, Kat, or Reilly, I think all 3 of them have a very high likelihood of going on the block. I think Lauren has a high likelihood of going on the block as well. And I think this shakes up the house a little bit. We had a unanimous vote last week we had this weird split vote this week. So I think people will be a little paranoid.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to make for a much more interesting week. I would be shocked if we repeat these noms again. I mean, if anything, just because no one wants to see Will throw another temper tantrum. So
if I have to watch Keanu, Will, and Kelly sit on the block this next HOH, it's over. I'm turning off Big Brother.
Are we canceling the podcast?
We're canceling the podcast.
Okay.
I'm not watching it anymore.
What about all the people that listen that want to hear us every week? We didn't do a different podcast?
They're just going to listen to us talk back and forth. You're going to have to call me your little drop of sunscreen or mayonnaise or whatever.
God. We just do a married people podcast about being married.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's the worst. We would be better
being
off
married is the worst.
Just doing a podcast about just like a lovey-dovey show. No one actually wants that. We'd be better off doing like Temptation Island, and I hate Temptation Island.
Now you're breaking us up on Temptation Island?
No.
What happened?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh man, this escalated quickly. I thought I was just making a joke. I can't see the same noms again, and Matt's like, "Let's go on Temptation Island."
Well,
okay.
We built the brand. I'm already thinking, all right, what do we have to do to keep the show going if we're not doing Big Brother anymore?
I guess.
No, I think that it will shake up next week. I'll say this one more time. The window is closing to get Rachel out.
It's closing. If she is not on the block this next week, she wins.
Yes.
At least she makes it real deep into the game.
Yeah. If she's not on the block this week, whoever is still around her and her ally has to take her to the end. And then if you're sitting up there, the two of you, I just don't see how it's not Rachel in that situation unless someone truly games, but we haven't seen a lick of that yet.
I mean, we got Zach trying to manipulate
maybe Zach
Nikki against Morgan.
Yeah. I agree,
and
by the way.
versa,
I don't think I actually agree mentioned my stance, but I agree that Zach is the most valuable final two to Vince right now. Because he's also won comps. He won that Find Julie comp at the very beginning,
he's a big crier.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. We see Zach cry a lot. It's sweet, I guess, right? We see his sensitive side, his emotional side. I think it's bad to be that upset in front of the whole house either way, because you're just showing that you're, emotionally vulnerable. And I think that's something that you can't really use to your advantage in the Big Brother house. At the end of the day, it will come back to bite you in the ass at some point. If the person that you're opening up to doesn't get you, someone else will because they saw it happen.
Yep, absolutely. And I think one of our last wrap-up segments here is we get beautiful Julie on eviction night. She's wearing this stunning mint green kind of jumper situation. She gets complimented on the color looking good on her by one of the house guests during eviction.
From a true critical eye.
Yeah.
How do we feel about it?
I mean, I think it's fire, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that we agree. Moving on. Next week, we've got another HOH, another veto. Maybe Mickey will use her power. So we'll be talking week 4. That's episodes 11, 12, and 13 of Big Brother 27. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Backdoors and Blindsides. We put out daily content. Getting into the meme game lately. And on top of that, we're live posting on Threads at Backdoors and Blindsides. Are we still on X?
I copy and paste those posts on both platforms.
If you're on X, throw us a follow, and full video episodes are up on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and send us messages, leave comments. We want to know who your favorites are, how you're feeling about it. And that's really it. Anything else? Any final thoughts?
Send us off, hubby.
Fuck. He
hates being called
reset.
He hates being called hubby.
We don't do hubby.
That was for saying that we should go on Temptation Island.
No, I'm saying that we should cover Temptation Island.
Okay. I thought you were saying we should go
falling off the wheels here.
Okay.
All right, I'll bring us home.
My lovely husband, bring us home.
From inside our living room, I'm Matt.
And I'm Meg.
We're Backdoors and Blindsides. Glove one another.
It's still so stupid.